Have you ever noticed how some people seem completely calm when something unexpected happens, while others spiral instantly? It's not always luck. Sometimes it's something way less glamorous but incredibly powerful. An emergency fund. And what's interesting is how having even a tiny one can change how people make decisions, how stressed they feel, and even how confident they are about the future. Today, we're breaking down the idea of emergency funds into three levels: starter, solid, and fully funded. And once you hear the differences, you might start wondering where you fall and what level actually fits your life, not someone else's. Most people assume emergency funds are only for huge disasters, but they quietly affect almost everything. Whether someone panics over a car repair, whether they can switch jobs without fear, or whether a broken phone turns into a crisis. Even teens and young adults building their first savings learn quickly that a small buffer can make everyday life feel way less chaotic. So understanding these levels isn't about telling someone what to do. It's just about exploring how different amounts of financial cushion can change the way someone navigates their choices. Before we jump in, if you want to support the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more financial content. It helps a ton. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with understanding what an emergency fund actually is. People often imagine an emergency fund as some giant pile of money sitting in an account forever, but the idea is simpler. It's just money set aside for things that can't be predicted easily. Not fun things, not planned things, not wish list things. Just the surprises that tend to show up when people least expect them. The interesting part is that different stages of life come with different levels of unpredictability, which is why breaking it into three levels makes it way easier to understand. Not everyone needs the same size fund. Not everyone is prepared for the same types of surprises. Some people feel secure with a small amount. Others sleep better with months' worth, and some are slowly building from nothing. So think of this as peeling back the layers so that anyone can recognize where they are and where they might want to head. So first, the starter level. The starter emergency fund is the smallest level, but surprisingly, it's also the one that makes the biggest emotional difference for people starting from zero. It's usually described as a very small buffer. We're talking about below 1 month of your current expenses. Something that could cover the tiny but annoying life interruptions that don't technically ruin someone financially, but definitely ruin their week. Things like a school expense that pops up out of nowhere, a cracked phone screen, a small bill someone forgot was coming, or a minor repair that can't wait. What's fascinating is how even a small buffer changes behavior. People with no cushion often make decisions based on fear of the next unexpected expense. People with even a little cushion tend to make decisions more calmly because they know one surprise won't knock everything over. So the starter level isn't about the money itself. It's about breaking that cycle of feeling like everything is one tiny disaster away from falling apart. Most people create a starter fund by saving in small bursts, maybe a portion of a paycheck, a side project, birthday money, or just putting aside small amounts whenever possible. Some even build it unintentionally, like when they forget they left money in an account they never touch. The point is that starter funds don't usually appear in one dramatic moment. They grow quietly, almost in the background, and once that small cushion exists, a lot of people realize their stress levels drop more than they expected. What this level typically covers: minor car expenses, small medical copays, school expenses, lost items that need replacing, last-minute mandatory purchases, random life hiccups. These aren't huge emergencies, but they are the ones that show up the most often and the ones that feel the most frustrating when someone has absolutely no savings. Once someone crosses this first level, they usually feel a shift. Money stops feeling like a constant emergency, and saving starts feeling more achievable. It's like the moment someone takes their first step on a staircase and suddenly sees there's a whole path upward. Second, the solid level. While a starter fund protects someone from the small surprises, the solid level protects against the bigger, more expensive ones. The ones that force people to borrow money, call family for help, scramble for solutions, or delay important responsibilities. This middle level is often described as a few months of expenses, but what's interesting is that the exact number varies wildly based on lifestyle, obligations, and how stable someone's income is. What matters more than the exact number is the idea that this amount can help someone stay afloat if life throws a medium-sized challenge their way. For example, this level can handle a sudden job schedule change that reduces hours, a large car repair, a move that someone didn't see coming, a temporary medical issue, a broken laptop that's needed for school or work, and more. These aren't full disasters, but they're the types of situations that really throw off someone who only has a starter fund. People often aim for this level because it buys time. Time to think instead of panic. Time to plan instead of react. Time to make decisions based on long-term thinking instead of immediate fear. People with this level of emergency fund often say they feel steady for the first time. Not invincible, not wealthy, just steady. Once the starter fund exists, most people grow it by consistently adding small amounts rather than waiting for some big moment. Some things people consider when building this level include what life feels like when a single bill can wipe out savings, how quickly medium-sized emergencies show up, how unpredictable their income is, and whether they have people depending on them. Growing to this level tends to happen gradually, but the nice part is that progress becomes more motivating because each milestone feels meaningful. Now, the fully funded level. This is the level that people talk about when they imagine true financial stability. Not wealth or luxury, but stability. A fully funded emergency fund is meant to cover long, unexpected disruptions. We're talking about major changes and life events that take time to recover from. It's the level many people aim for eventually, but not everyone rushes to reach right away because it takes time and consistency. For example, this level can support losing a job completely, a long-term medical situation in the family, a major household repair, a move across large distances, a big financial change that lasts months, not days. These are the things people rarely see coming but feel massive when they hit. People with a fully funded emergency fund don't avoid emergencies, they just aren't destabilized by them. And what's interesting is how it changes the way people think about opportunities too. When someone knows they have months of cushion, they often feel freer to take calculated risks, explore new things, change direction, or walk away from situations that aren't right for them. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom that comes from not being one big surprise away from panic. When building this level, people usually consider their cost of living, how predictable their job or income is, whether they support others, whether they have health-related vulnerabilities, whether they live somewhere with high or unpredictable expenses. There's no one-size-fits-all number. Some feel secure with 3 months saved, others prefer 6, and some feel best with a year. It's personal. Now, how to think about your level. Instead of seeing these 3 levels as strict rules, a lot of people treat them like checkpoints on a journey. The starter level breaks the feeling of financial fragility. The solid level brings stability, and the fully funded level offers resilience. Everyone's pace is different. Some reach the starter level quickly but stay there for a while. Others reach the solid level slowly but build unstoppable momentum. The point isn't about comparing, it's about recognizing that each level changes the way life feels, and each level brings benefits long before someone reaches the end. While no one needs to follow specific strategies, some habits tend to make the process smoother. For example, checking in once in a while to see how expenses shift over time, keeping emergency money separate from daily spending, adding small amounts consistently instead of waiting for perfect timing, or adjusting the fund when life circumstances change. These habits aren't requirements. They are just tools that many people find helpful. A lot of people realize that building an emergency fund isn't just financial. It's emotional. Here are some mental shifts people commonly experience. 1. From "I'll save when I have extra" to "I'll save a little even when I don't." People often discover that waiting for extra money rarely works because something always comes up. Saving small amounts consistently tends to work better for many. 2. From "this will take forever" to "oh, I'm actually making progress." The first few steps feel slow, then suddenly the numbers start to feel real. 3. From "emergencies always ruin everything" to "I can handle things now." This shift happens quietly. Sometimes people notice it only when an emergency arrives and they respond calmly instead of panicking. 4. From "I'm behind" to "I'm building something." Comparing to others drains motivation, but comparing to your past self? That shows progress. So today we explored the 3 levels of an emergency fund. The starter level, which protects against the small but frequent surprises. The solid level, which stabilizes life during medium-sized disruptions. The fully funded level, which provides resilience during the major, long-term challenges. Each level brings its own form of confidence, and none of them need to be reached overnight. People build them little by little, adjusting along the way as life changes. And the most interesting part? Most people say that the emotional benefits appear long before the financial milestones do. If you made it this far, here's something to think about. Which emergency fund level do you feel like you relate to right now? And what level do you think would make life feel more comfortable or secure? Drop your thoughts in the comments so others can relate or learn from different perspectives. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more financial content. Your support lets us keep making videos like this. See you in the next one.